Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for taking time out of your wonderful Saturday morning, even though we're all in quarantine. I know a lot of you are still having to work. So I wanted to say thank you so much for taking a moment out. I am Amanda Sanchez, as you know, of Queens Redeemed, and I am doing a special edition of Women of Influence, the Finance Edition. And so today we have our very first guest, which I will be bringing on in a moment. Her name is Yaneth Medina, and she is the Senior Vice President of St. Charles Bank and Trust of Wintrust Community Bank. And when I tell you this woman is an absolutely phenomenal blessing into my life, I've had the pleasure of being one of her book sisters, and we had the opportunity to speak last year at Latina Talks together. And so a little bit about Yaneth. As I said, she's actually featured in volume 2 of today's Inspired Latina. She's one of my fellow Latina speakers. She was the 2019 Latina Style Top 10 Executives of the Year, and she is also the 2020 Today's Inspired Latina of the Year. And so it is with my very absolute pleasure to take this moment to introduce to you Yaneth Medina. Yaneth, sweetheart, are you there?
I am here. Happy
Awesome.
Saturday.
Happy Saturday. Thank you so much. Oh, and I forgot to tell the people, not only is she all those amazing things, she is my sister and my dancing partner. She's
That's right. We're dancing. Yes.
Yes. Understands my energy and my dancing. So I love it. I love it. So Yaneth, today we're going to definitely be talking about the relief that's going on for the small businesses, because I know you are overwhelmed and swamped, and it just started yesterday and already you have back to back. So thank you for taking time out. So I want to make sure I make this efficient and quick as possible. But if you can, tell us a little bit about yourself and your role at Wintrust.
Sure. I am a senior vice president of St. Charles Bank and Trust. I run the retail department as well as being on the executive team for the entire bank in itself. So my job is to create great relationships with our consumers and businesses and help them in every way financially.
Awesome. Awesome. I know you've helped some of our book sisters. So I know you've helped Jackie Camacho with the Fig Factor Foundation, as well as Tamika Lachey Morales with the Autism Hero Project. And so I know you partner a lot with a lot of the communities. And so share a little bit about the Relief Act for some of those that we know it's just going to help a lot of small businesses. Some of us just don't even know exactly how it works. Can you explain a little bit more?
Absolutely. So the Department of Treasury and the SBA organizations came together, and as part of the CARES Act, which is the, I'm going to look at my notes here because I want to make sure I do this right. The Coronavirus Aid, Relief, and Economic Security Act that was just recently presented with the stimulus package. It's a $2 trillion relief package that covers a number of areas, and it has specific dollars going back to the community with our business owners. And so right now, what financial institutions that are SBA lenders, we're out getting this literally out to our businesses and injecting capital, hopefully back to the economy and start to get it boosted up again. So there's a lot of things. I don't know if you want to just go back and forth with questions with regards to how it works. You let me know how you want to do this.
Yeah, definitely. So I know that it can help from all the way down to the sole proprietor and self-employed to nonprofits to small businesses. So what is the range of who can qualify for this loan?
So this is the Paycheck Protection Program. So this is for businesses and non-for-profits that have employees under 500 employees. So it varies from an organization or a business that has one employee, so one employee up to 500. If you have employees if you have more than 500 employees, that you do not qualify for this loan. So what we do, it's called the Paycheck Protection Program for a reason, because it's based off of your payroll expenses, your monthly payroll expenses. So the banks are working with our business owners and, again, non-for-profits who qualify for this. Is we go in and we do an analysis. We could work with your 941 forms, which are your IRS things that your forms that you publish and you send out, and we calculate your 2019 payroll expenses. There's a number of things that go into that, and Wintrust has done a great job with providing very much more guidelines, for our business owners and our organizations to go on and look at this webpage and look at what specifically can be counted for.
Okay, great. And so it would have to be definitely, any of these businesses have to be registered. It can't just be like necessarily the work from home mom who just started something. It has to be somebody that can have a proven payroll, right?
Correct. It's documented payroll, and you also need, to your point, registered with the state of Illinois, and obviously the local government facilities and things like that. Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. And so how would one apply for these programs? Is it just through specific banks? Can they do it online? And what would be in their best interest to be able to do it?
That's a great question. We've gotten millions of calls of this with Wintrust. So first of all, your bank has to be an SBA lender. Not all banks are SBA lenders. We're really proud at Wintrust that we were one of the top SBA lenders for Illinois. And then secondly, what we're doing right now is this portal just opened up yesterday, and we are taking our existing clients first. Obviously, our relationships, our business relationships right now, any kind of relationship is very important. And so there is an application on our Wintrust Bank's portal. So for mine, it's all one and the same, but it's you go to, for instance, Bank St. Charles. Sorry, we just had a technical difficulty. BankSt.Charles.com, and then from there is guidelines right on the top of our web page, and then you could go right on there and start the application process through there. There's a series of questions and documents that you need to submit.
Okay, great. And now I did also read that there is the possibility that it can be not just a loan, but it can actually turn into a grant as well. So there's a portion that you would either pay back, or you can qualify to not have to pay back. Are you aware of how that part of it works?
Yeah. So first, I want to make sure that everybody understands that this is a very fluid situation, and literally our financial institutions were looking at the government guidance daily, if not hourly, because things kept changing. But there is a forgiveness component with this, and that is after a certain period of time. We have this all on our website, but I'll read you what we have so far, what it says as far as the loan itself. A portion of the loan can be forgiven. It's subject to certain restrictions. And then the loan eligible for forgiveness can include payments made during the 8-week period following the loan funding. So 8 weeks after your loan funds, those payments that you've made can be forgiven. Those include payroll and benefits, interest payments on mortgages, rent payments, health insurance, and utility payments. So all of those things are subject to review and can be forgiven. So there's really two initial phases with this program. There's the phase of applying, getting approved, and then there's that second phase of making sure that those items can be forgiven, and the grant comes in that way.
Okay. And then if I'm not mistaken, it's not to exceed June 30th, which means people should be getting this handled this weekend. Most importantly, start putting the application in so that it could be approved in time, and they may be able to benefit from that, correct?
So that was the initial information that we got from the government. And so the last thing we got from them, and again, this is a very fluid situation. Things are always, coming to us as far as guidance. Now what our understanding is that it is something you want to always confirm when you're at your loan closing. But it is our understanding is that once you close, you have an 8-week period. So we were all thinking, oh gosh, these are loans that people are going to want to make sure that they close like this weekend and get all the applications in. So now it's based on the loan closing. Again, very fluid, always very important that you stay up to date. Our bank will always make sure that we give you the current and most up-to-date information.
Okay. And I think probably one of the most important questions that just popped into my head, does a person have to be a client of Wintrust to be able to work with you specifically through this process?
So currently we are prioritizing our clients first. Doesn't mean that we're not necessarily going to not help our non-customers. We're always welcoming. We always want to create great relationships, great partnerships with business owners and non-for-profits. So right now we are prioritizing those clients, but we're not saying no to the non-customers. But it does, when you go through our portal to apply for all this, it does have a specific information with regards to whether you're a current Wintrust clients or not.
Okay. And where else can people get information regarding if they want to read up a little bit more on it? Would it just be through the SBA, or is there any other, I guess, organizations that you can think of that might be able to be a resource for people?
Definitely 3 websites. Number one, our Wintrust website, your local Wintrust community bank, or wintrust.com will always have as much as we know. We have the Small Business Administration, the SBA department will have information on that, and the Department of Treasury with regards to the CARES Act. So if you Google CARES Act and the Paycheck Protection Program, you'll probably get to those 2 sites for sure.
Okay, perfect. And so I guess last but not least, if they have any questions, or can they guide them to you? Should they guide them to me and venture through you? How would be the best form of communication?
Everybody could email me. My email address is very simple. It's ymedina@wintrust.com. I'd be happy to, have any conversations with any business owners or non-for-profits, or through you. Either way, we're happy and welcome. We welcome any kind of inquiries.
Oh, perfect. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
I'm so appreciative. Let me actually check with my handyman behind the scenes. If anybody has any questions that have come up, let me see. My honey handyman, any questions? Okay. All right. No questions so far, but that does not mean you can't comment below if you have done a watch party, or if you're watching this after. Please do share. Please contact us with any questions. We are here to be a resource for you, and more than happy to help you in any way that we can. You can also share. This is going to be uploaded to YouTube, so be sure just to like, subscribe, and let's help as many small businesses as possible during these times. Please make sure, everyone, that you are staying safe. This is a serious thing. It's not a joke, and it's increasing. So please stay at home as much as possible. Wash your hands, don't touch your face, all the things. But most importantly, let's gather together as small businesses and make sure that we're continuing to lift and help each other out. So thank you so much, Yaneth, for taking
You're welcome.
time.
Happy to be
For
here.
everyone else. And I cannot wait to bring you all the rest of the speakers that we have for the Women of Influence Finance Edition. So you all have an amazing and blessed weekend, and I'll see you all soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.